Good afternoon, everyone. I hope this video finds you all well and healthy. I haven't spoken for a while, so I thought, if you have nothing to say, say nothing. So I had nothing to say, but today I've got something on my heart. Last night I watched a YouTube movie, a documentary which a friend sent to me, and it's called The Work, a prison documentary. It's about a initiative in America where, what can I call them? Normal people? People who are not in prison spend a 4-day group therapy session in prison with inmates. And what I can gather is a lot of the therapy that takes place is family constellation therapy, but also some inner child work. And that got me thinking, because I've done some inner child work myself, and I do inner child work in my practice as well. I'm not a specialist in the field, but I think it's very, very important for all of us to realize that invariably we do have an inner child inside of us. And then strangely enough, this morning when I was busy reading my recovery literature, I came across a reading that I thought I wanted to read to you today and just briefly discuss. Now, the book that I'm busy reading on at the moment is Codependent Anonymous. So this is the basic text of Coda. As you all know, or a lot of you know, I'm a drug addict, alcoholic, sex addict, and a codependent. And I'm currently working the program in codependence, and I'm loving the work there. It's really as if I'm peeling the next layer of the onion of my recovery. So I really recommend it. I truly believe that most people with some form of addiction problem have codependent problems as well. And I'm quickly going to read this to you, and then we can discuss it. On goes the glasses. Right. The section of the codependent book that I'm working on is what is the question, the Q&A part, question and answers part of the book. And the question that I read this morning is, what is the child within? And the answer is, the child within is the sum of all our childhood experiences, memories, perceptions, beliefs, that's not perceptions, perceptions, beliefs and emotions. It is the part of us that, 1, experienced both the positive and the negative aspects of our childhood, 2, retains the unexpressed feelings generated by our childhood experiences, and 3, reacts strongly, either passively or rebelliously, to the difficult situations we encounter in our adult lives. The child within, or our inner child, is that part of us that carries the innocence of life, curiosity of nature, and the spirit of who we are. Our inner child can be delightful, spontaneous, creative, playful, joyful, mischievous, tender, and loving. It may also appear as the hurt, embittered, shamed, scared, and angry part of us. When unsettling feelings connected with the past are triggered, the child within often reacts impulsively, immaturely, or aggressively. Our unresolved issues erupt as overwhelming thoughts and or feelings that drive our behavior, often leaving us wondering, why did I act like that, or where did that come from? For example, if criticized by someone, we may overreact in anger, or we may be passive. We might go into a shame spiral without realizing that we are actually reacting to a similar event from childhood when we were shamed or criticized. A minor loss may bring on bouts of uncontrollable crying and subsequent depression, which actually relates back to unexpressed grief from childhood. For instance, as a child, we may have experienced the death of a loved one, but were told not to cry. And that was one thing that came up in the movie last night. The solution lies not with trying to eradicate the child within, but with embracing this often unpredictable, sometimes unwelcome part of ourselves. With help from a higher power, as we experience and accept our inner child, we are able to heal our pain from the past and discover our authentic selves. Learning to accept and love ourselves is a gift we give ourselves, allowing us to live happier, healthier lives. We are able to experience what is meant to love and to be loved. Recovery work is vital if we want to free ourselves from our all-consuming fears and resentments of the past. Attending meetings, following others' examples, learning to have fun, journal writing, and seeking professional assistance is necessary, if necessary, are some of the ways we used to connect with a precious little child within. Now, early in my recovery, I attended a trauma workshop as a patient, and that is where I kind of met my inner child and became aware of inner child work. And it was an immensely powerful weekend that I spent in my life, and I do recommend it to anybody. And in that workshop, I was told that I was basically an ignored child. And from then on, I was advised to actually take time at night and spend with my inner child. I call him Freddie, and spend time with Freddie and tuck him into bed, read him a nighttime story, tell him I love him, tell him I care for him, tell him he's awesome, and tell him to sleep well and that he's loved. And I've been doing that now for the past, I suppose, 7 years, 7, 8 years. And it truly has brought me into touch with the child within. And exactly as the text says, how I know that my inner child is active at this stage is invariably when something happens and my adult self knows the appropriate. Something happens and the emotions that I feel or the way I react is incongruent with the situation, then I invariably know that the inner child is experiencing something that happened before, that I necessarily as an adult can't remember, but obviously had meaning for the inner child. And that's when I have to get still and ask myself, okay, so the emotions are not congruent with the actions. What are the emotions that I'm feeling and where can they come from? And what the solution is invariably that I need to go inside and tell the inner child, tell little Freddie that it's okay, that what he's feeling is valid, and that I understand the feeling, and then to take his hand and tell him, but you know, I'm the adult. I'm going to give you the space to be the child. You relax, you chill out, you go play. I will take responsibility of this. I've got this. I'm okay. And invariably, in a very short period of time, once I've calmed the child down, I actually can experience the appropriate emotions attached to the situation. This is very, very powerful work. The example that I gave now was a very simple example, but if we can, in therapy, go back to a lot of childhood issues and find where the inner child got hurt, we can, as therapists, understand so much more of the behavior that we see in the adult. So if you're in therapy and your therapist keep on hampering back to the past, then they're possibly looking for the inner child stuff. I had that last week until a client said to me, what exactly are you looking for? And once I explained to the person what exactly it is that I work with, we chatted a bit and then it just popped out. This is the one event in his life that had a significant impact on him as a child, which he didn't think was significant at all. But with the behavior that he struggled with, we could clearly see that this is what we're dealing with. So, yeah, this is awesome stuff. I really recommend anybody who, as adults, struggle with the concept of dealing with stuff, as dealing with emotions as adults that you can't necessarily control or understand, get to a therapist and do some inner child work, and you may find yourself freed significantly from behavior patterns that hurt you. Okay, guys, I hope this helps. Yeah, if you have any questions, please shout, leave a comment, and we can take it from there. Look after yourself. See ya. Bye-bye.